Amidst Sweden's pristine landscapes and world-famous lush forests, a darker reality is lurking, poised to erupt. In recent years, Sweden has been grappling with an extremely urgent threat: the rise of immigrant-origin criminal gangs. Gang activities are endangering national security and spiraling beyond control to the extent that the Swedish Prime Minister had to convene emergency meetings to seek military assistance. While some solutions have been proposed, the question remains whether they are sufficient. In the Sweden suburb of Botkyrka, southwest of Stockholm, almost half of the population lives in so-called vulnerable areas where children with immigrant backgrounds are easy targets for criminal gangs. Furthermore, the two words peaceful and tranquil are now merely memories. Not a day goes by without the people of Sweden experiencing tranquility, without witnessing conflicts being resolved or territorial disputes among criminal gangs. In the early 2000s, the number of cases related to military-grade weapons have remained below 10 cases and was among the lowest in all of Europe. Unfortunately, today Sweden is a very different Sweden. According to statistics from The Guardian, just last year alone, there were up to 391 incidents with 62 fatalities. Amidst the escalating conflicts among gangs, innocent civilians are constantly caught in the crossfire, drawn into an endless cycle of retaliation with no respite. Unlike other hotspots across Europe, this alarming situation seems to have suddenly appeared overnight and engulfed the entire nation in the blink of an eye. Observers have noted that this issue is unfolding because Swedish society is in a very sensitive situation: constant conflicts among underground forces, a significant number of disillusioned teenagers, and widespread drug addiction. These factors, when combined, have given rise to a wave of violence sweeping the streets of Stockholm, leaving all of Europe stunned by the suddenness of it all. Recently, Sweden has shattered a zombie record. The Guardian reports that since the worrisome situation began escalating in 2016, the number of recorded fatalities has consistently broken all previous records. In just the past month of September, the death toll reached 11 people. Most of these cases are linked to military-grade weapons and explosives. The top suspicion of investigators is that criminal gangs have become involved in these cases. This is believed to be part of their efforts to seize control of the underworld. Investigators suggest that the possibility of a murder on Christmas Eve in late 2022, with the victim allegedly having some connection to a gang, may have ignited the entire situation. In response to the latest incidents, Sweden's National Police Commissioner, Anders Thornberg, said, "Innocent people are being murdered and injured. The police were doing everything in their power to stop the violence," he added. Criminal conflicts in Sweden are a serious threat to the safety and security of the country. Prime Minister of Sweden, Ulf Kristersson, acknowledged the colossal challenge that the police are currently facing in a social media post last week and emphasized the government's commitment to action. He declared a determination to make resolute changes in the justice system by imposing long-term imprisonment to rid the streets of gang members and prevent the recruitment of new members by criminal gangs. According to Politico, in a study by Sweden's National Council for Crime Prevention, published in 2021, the rate of cases involving military-grade weapons had decreased in many other European countries in recent years. Conversely, the rate has sharply increased in Sweden. Researchers suggested that this could be due to a significant shift that has occurred, plunging the criminal world into chaos. Prime Minister Christensen maintains that the government has a comprehensive solution to address this issue and believes that gang members will not simply cease their activities. Therefore, in his view, the most drastic solution is to use prisons to completely isolate these undesirable elements from society. Leaders have proposed a series of policy changes to reverse the wave of violence. First and foremost, it is necessary to allow the police to establish temporary checkpoints where they can conduct searches for dangerous weapons, even when the individuals being checked have not engaged in any wrongdoing. The police believe that with such levels of intervention, if implemented effectively, it could prevent or at least limit future criminal activities. Increasing prison sentences. Among all the proposed initiatives, this is perhaps the most controversial one. Firstly, government officials argue that by doubling the length of sentences and reforming the current lenient penal system to increase deterrence, along with establishing correctional facilities for juvenile offenders, they can address the issue. Currently, Sweden does not require prisoners to serve their entire sentences in cases where they are convicted of multiple offenses simultaneously. This is one of the aspects that the government promises to change in the near future. In total, the Stockholm government estimates that the new legal system changes will double the existing prison capacity in Sweden from 7,500 to 15,000. In April, Justice Minister Gunnar Strömmer himself proposed doubling the minimum penalties for crimes involving military-grade weapons and increasing the maximum penalty thresholds, arguing that this would make criminal gangs think twice before committing offenses. Ulf Kristensen's predecessor, Morgan Johansson, also believes that imprisoning gang members will deter individuals from committing crimes, separate them from young people, and allow more time for rehabilitation. However, not all increases in penalties are necessarily effective. There are signs that when the previous government showed signs of increasing penalties, criminal gangs actively recruited underage members. Furthermore, professor and head of the Department of Criminology, Philip Estrada at Stockholm University, has argued that the approach of increasing prison sentences is not optimal. He is concerned that the prison system may struggle to accommodate the sudden surge in inmates and could lead to an overcrowded situation. According to Professor Estrada, this is a strategy that has been implemented and proven effective in the United States. This solution focuses on the collaboration between law enforcement and social agencies in communities heavily impacted by gangs. Instead of direct arrests, criminals are required to participate in a face-to-face meeting with law enforcement and victims. They are given a choice: abandon their criminal lifestyle or accept being closely monitored by law enforcement in all their activities. In the United States, this strategy has yielded very positive results, reducing crime rates by up to 63% in Boston, 37% in Chicago and other cities. Professor Estrada suggests it won't be easy to confront crime, but if we want to end the violence in short time, this is a very promising strategy. In the long term, Professor Estrada believes that a significant investment in education is the most effective crime prevention strategy. He argues that schools are crucial in preventing juvenile crime because young teenagers who succeed academically are less likely to engage in criminal activities. Furthermore, authorities suggest that allowing anonymous witnesses to participate in court proceedings, which is currently not permitted, could be a tool to make the prosecution process more effective. All these proposals are being carefully considered by the government. Prime Minister Christensen has pledged to hunt down and defeat any gang that threatens societal safety. Anyone involved in illegal activities will have to face the justice system, and if they are foreign nationals, they will be immediately deported. He also noted that while Swedish law was not originally created specifically to combat gangs, all resources and assets are now ready for national security, and all measures will be carefully considered. Additionally, Prime Minister stated last week that he had a discussion with the National Police Commissioner and the Commander of the Armed Forces to consider the possibility of military intervention if deemed necessary. And that has concluded today's World Affairs. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again in the next program.